the news. If Angel Reese was going into the WNBA and Caitlin Clark, no one would care. She'd be like, "Oh, okay, that woman's really good on the offensive boards." I mean, that's really what she.
Did you hear that, Dan? Patrick just called out Angel Reese for claiming she's the main reason fans are watching the WNBA. He didn't sugarcoat it. He pointed out how she's getting lost in her own hype. Sure, Reese has contributed to the sport's growth, but Patrick made it clear, without Caitlin Clark, she wouldn't be in the same spotlight. And the numbers don't lie. Stay tuned as we break it all down. Basketball Twitter is absolutely losing it.
I think so many people are watching women's basketball right now. It all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, just because of one single game.
Did you catch what Angel Reese said in a media session last year? She didn't hold back, making a bold claim that got everyone talking. Reese said, *, people aren't just watching women's basketball because of one person. It's because of me too. *, that was a direct challenge to the idea that Caitlin Clark is the main driving force behind the sport's popularity. So, was she right to say that? Let's break it down.
And just looking at that, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
That statement is so out of touch, it's almost unbelievable. Last season, WNBA viewership hit record highs, right when Caitlin Clark entered the league. Just a coincidence? Doubt it. Ticket prices soared, arenas were packed, and social media was on fire like never before. None of this was happening at the same level before Clark's arrival, but Angel Reese still believed she deserved just as much credit for the league's rise in popularity.
If she would have left it with what she had to say right before the last couple of words, I would have been fine with it. She's embraced the villain. She understands social media. She's done quite well. She is cashed in, literally cashed in.
This isn't just a one-time comment. It's a pattern. Angel Reese has consistently tried to position herself as a major factor in the WNBA's rise. But look at the timing. She's making these claims right as the league is breaking records, and all that attention seems to follow one person, Caitlin Clark.
WNBA has been around a couple of decades, and people didn't notice the game. They're noticing it now. Well, that's because of Caitlin Clark, not Angel Reese.
Dan Patrick wasn't having it. He pointed out something telling about Angel Reese. After winning the national championship, instead of celebrating with her team, her first move was to taunt Caitlin Clark. That speaks volumes about her priorities. Patrick also highlighted a key difference. While both players have huge social media followings, it's Clark's talent and star power that are bringing in major endorsements and record-breaking viewership.
Her attention, her notoriety is based off Caitlin Clark. Because she wins the national title, first thing she does, she mocks Caitlin Clark. And then she doesn't even celebrate with her teammates. So she's made it personal with Caitlin Clark.
You know what really put things into perspective? Patrick compared Caitlin Clark's impact on the WNBA to Tiger Woods in golf and Lionel Messi in Major League Soccer. That's not just any comparison. It puts her in the conversation with some of the biggest game changers in sports history.
People watched golf because of Tiger, right? You tuned in. No matter what event Tiger was playing, you were going to watch. They're still trying to capitalize on him. Playing in the U.S. Open. NBC and Peacock, their graphic has Scottie Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, and then who's looming larger on the screen but Tiger?
Think about it. Before Tiger Woods, how many casual fans were tuning into golf every weekend? Almost none. Then Tiger arrived, and suddenly, even non-golfers were watching. The same thing happened when Messi joined Inter Miami. Fans who couldn't name a single MLS team were suddenly buying tickets and jerseys. Caitlin Clark is having that exact kind of impact on the WNBA.
Can out of Tiger. When Gretzky got to the LA Kings, Messi goes to the MLS. Maybe Connor McDavid with Edmonton. Like you're trying to, there's somebody you may tune in to watch, and then maybe if you watch, then maybe you appreciate what you're.
Isn't making these comparisons just to be dramatic. He's pointing out a key reason behind the WNBA's sudden surge in popularity. The league has been around for decades but never attracted this level of mainstream attention. So what changed in 2024? It wasn't Angel Reese's rebounding or social media presence. It was Caitlin Clark bringing something completely new to the game.
But the eyeballs on the WNBA really have to do with Caitlin Clark. Now, you might, if you stay long enough, maybe you'll see something or someone there you go, okay, I'm entertained by this. But there's nothing wrong with admitting that you watch a sport because of one singular person.
The most brutal moment came when Patrick didn't hold back, saying, "There's nothing about Angel Reese's game that's really interesting to casual viewers." That's not just a small critique. It completely undercuts her claim that she's fueling the WNBA's popularity. Patrick isn't denying her talent. He's simply pointing out that her style of play doesn't have the electrifying appeal that draws in new fans who weren't already following women's basketball.
Angel Reese has played a role in this, and she's a very good player. But there's nothing about her game that's really interesting that is going to translate to people who may not watch the WNBA, may not care about basketball. She is a social media star, and she has capitalized on that. And maybe she embraces being the...
Patrick's analysis makes one thing crystal clear. There's a big difference between being a solid player and being a once-in-a-generation star who transforms an entire sport. Caitlin Clark is in that rare second category. Angel Reese is not. Patrick admits that Reese has gained attention by playing the villain and positioning herself against Clark, but there's no debate. Clark is the real reason everyone is talking about the WNBA right now.
But make no mistake about it, Caitlin Clark is the reason why everybody has an opinion on what happened in that game. It's Caitlin Clark. Now, do I think it was assault, as the Chicago Tribune said? No, it was not. It was a hard foul. It's wrong. You don't need it in the game.
It's a harsh reality check on who's truly shaping this moment in women's basketball. Reese seems to believe she and Clark are equal forces in this new era, but Patrick's breakdown exposes the uncomfortable truth. Reese is benefiting from Clark's stardom, not creating it. Without Clark in the picture, would casual sports fans even know Angel Reese's name?
And I don't like the other narrative, like you have the gatekeepers now, like, hey, we've been playing basketball a long time, where were you? No, we're watching because of Caitlin Clark. I didn't watch the MLS. Messi started playing, I watched the MLS. People watching Tiger, they didn't play golf. But there was Tiger. There was something
Patrick
about
didn't
it.
just question whether Angel Reese would be as famous without Caitlin Clark. He answered it by exposing the real motivation behind her actions. This isn't just about two competitors battling for the spotlight. Patrick said what many have suspected but few have openly admitted. Angel Reese is jealous of Caitlin Clark.
In race, do I think everybody's jealous of Caitlin Clark? I don't. But I do think they are out to prove a point. You're not coming in and dominating our game. Because we are grown women and we are going to be physical with you. Now, dirty, then I have a problem with that. But you're playing tough. It's competition.
And before you dismiss that as just a hot take, look at the receipts Patrick laid out. Remember when Caitlin Clark got knocked to the floor? Most players would either help her up or just move on. Basic sportsmanship, right? But not Angel Reese. She actually stood there and clapped. Who does that? That's not just competitive intensity, that's personal.
Played off of that. Even Caitlin Clark getting knocked down in that game on Saturday, who's standing up applauding but Angel Reese? So she's sort of embraced a Draymond Green role here.
Patrick didn't hold back in his analysis. He compared Angel Reese to NBA players known for their aggressive, in-your-face styles, saying she's tried to model herself after Draymond Green by embracing the villain role. But then he took it a step further. He said she's actually more like Dylan Brooks. And that's a key distinction. He's not just saying she plays tough. He's pointing out that she deliberately stirs up conflict and looks for ways to provoke, especially when Caitlin Clark is involved.
Angel Reese wants to be Draymond Green. She's more Dylan Brooks. Like she's trying to be an instigator. She goes out of her way to criticize Caitlin Clark. So if you factor all of this in, that's when people have opinions that aren't basketball.
What makes this even more interesting is how Patrick exposed the business strategy behind Reese's actions. This isn't just a personal rivalry. She's turned antagonizing Caitlin Clark into a career move. By branding herself as the anti-Clark, she's secured endorsements, built a massive social media following, and stayed in the headlines. It's strategic, it's intentional, and financially, it's working.
This is business. She's creating business. If you watch her play, there's nothing exciting about her game. There's nothing that stands out. She's just a really good, solid player. But there's no signature. There's nothing about her game where you go, oh my God, you see that? She just plays hard.
But here's the catch. This strategy only works as long as Caitlin Clark is in the spotlight. Patrick points out that without Clark as her rival, Reese's entire persona loses its edge. She needs the contrast, the rivalry, and most importantly, Clark's star power to stay relevant. It's a one-sided dynamic where Reese is essentially leveraging Clark's popularity to build her own brand.
But Caitlin got all of this exposure. She's getting endorsements because she's unique. It's like Steph Curry's unique. Tiger Woods' unique. Not everybody gets it just because, hey, I put in 10 years in the WNBA or the PGA Tour or the NBA. It doesn't work that way. It's supply and demand.